Hi everyone, Scott back here with another 7 recommended films from 2008. Let me start off by talking about a documentary called Chicago 10, a very unusual documentary. It was directed by Brent Morgan, and it is the story of some people that were charged with terrorism at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago in 1968. The unusual thing about this documentary is, though it uses a lot of archival footage from that period, most of the movie is focused on the people on trial and the court, and the depositions are actually dramatized through animation. We've got some fairly famous actors who do the voices of the characters, but the visual is animated, which is kind of cool. It's an unusual documentary, really compelling though. I liked it a lot. And then there's The Fall. The Fall is sort of a fantastical drama, which is directed by Tarsem Singh, who's done a number of movies that are okay and some that are not so okay. He's probably best known for doing Mirror Mirror? No, he's not best known for doing that. He did this new movie Selfless with Ryan Reynolds and Ben Kingsley. Prior to that he did Mirror Mirror, which had Julia Roberts as like the evil stepmother, Snow White type character. And he also did The Cell with Jennifer Lopez and Vince Vaughn. He's probably, prior to that, he was directing music videos, and the one that he's best known for is Losing My Religion by REM. This is an unusual movie in that he basically took a lot of work directing commercials in different parts of the world, and then used his equipment and his crew to shoot pieces of this movie, The Fall. And it started off with him basically setting up this scenario whereby a stuntman in, I think, 1920s Hollywood injured his leg, and his basically hanging out in a hospital recuperating, and he meets this girl who's about 5-6 years old, and he starts telling her this story. And the story changes depending on what the girl wants from him. But what he did basically is, once those scenes were shot, he ended up filming the fantasy scenes in all these other parts of the world on his commercial shoots to match what was being described in these scenes. You know, it's a very unusual way to make a movie, but pretty exciting visually anyway. It's a really compelling film, and has a great ending too. Terrific ending. Good endings are important to me. Lee Pace is the main character, in case I didn't mention that. Lee Pace, who played Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, he's the stuntman. And I think he fell off a bridge, or maybe he jumped deliberately. Can't remember exactly. There's some confusion around that. Next movie I'd like to talk about is a drama, sort of a comedic drama, that was done by Mike Leigh. He's done a lot of films over the years. I've been keeping up with him since the 90s. Haven't seen all of his movies, but one of the things he was best known for was a movie that came out in 96 called Secrets and Lies. Recently he's done stuff like, what's the one with Jim Broadbent? It's all about some play. I never saw it. Oh, darn it. Anyway, Happy Go Lucky has Sally Hawkins as the main character. And she is a school teacher, enjoys teaching little kids, and she's a single girl who hangs out with her friends and meets a guidance counselor, I think, who works with kids and begins dating him. But the movie's kind of unusual in the sense that she doesn't have some huge life crisis to deal with. And she has this strange interaction with, I really should review the names of these actors before I do this stuff. He was the villain in Hancock. He's been in a bunch of different stuff. Eddie Marsan. She needs to learn to drive. She needs to get her driver's license, and he is her driving instructor. And he is very abrasive, and a nice contrast to her very sort of carefree attitude, and he becomes a little bit obsessed with her. It's a really good movie. Really liked it a lot. One of my favorites of that year. And then I'd like to talk about Let the Right One In, which is a Norwegian film, I believe, or it might be Swedish. I forget exactly. It was directed by Thomas Alfredson, who went on to do Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy with Gary Oldman. It, of course, is about a kid living in an apartment complex who realizes that one of his neighbors is actually a vampire. Chloe Moretz was in the remake. Sorry about that. No. Yes, the kid basically discovers that this little girl who's living nearby is actually a vampire, and that her father is actually someone who's going out finding victims and collecting blood for her so she can continue to survive. This kid has been getting beat up, and so that plays into the subplot with the bullies plays into that as well. But it's a really, really strong picture, really good, unusual vampire picture. Another drama that I liked very much was Rachel Getting Married, with Jonathan Demme directing. He's done something quite recently, actually. I can't remember what it is. Something's due to come out that he directed. Anyway, Jonathan Demme, of course, is best known for Silence of the Lambs. And this is, of course, a very different movie. It's sort of like one of his... a movie sort of in the same style that he started off with. He went through this whole phase whereby after Silence of the Lambs he would do like these big fat close-ups on people looking straight in the camera. That's in Philadelphia, that's in The Truth About Charlie and Beloved, and luckily he eventually broke away from that because it got to be a bit annoying after a while. Rachel Getting Married has Anne Hathaway as the main character. Her sister, played by Rosemary DeWitt, is getting married, and she is out of rehab to attend the wedding, and she causes all kinds of problems for the people there. Her father is played by, shoot, who plays, Bill Nighy, sorry. These names are just not coming to me as quickly as they ought to. Bill Nighy is her father. Deborah Winger is her mother. Yeah, it's just about her basically dealing with all the sort of judgment from people who blame her for a lot of stuff that's happened in the past. Really good drama. I really liked it a lot. And I think Anne Hathaway is nominated for Best Actress, which would have been, I would have been more satisfied with her winning that award than the one for Les Miserables, because her part was so small in Les Mis, but someone probably quite deserving won the Oscar that year. I can't even remember. Moving on, then there's WALL-E. WALL-E is a Pixar movie directed by Andrew Stanton, who went on to do John Carter, which is a movie that I liked very much, although a lot of people didn't seem to be very satisfied with it. But WALL-E is, he did Finding Nemo as well. WALL-E is, of course, about the trash compactor robot hanging around on Earth that's been abandoned by people. Eventually, another ship comes with another robot who he strikes up a little romance with, and then he hitches a ride back to the ship where all the humans still are, and all kinds of shenanigans ensue. Really, really fun movie. Great design. Just a spectacular movie. Pixar's made a lot of really great movies, and this is definitely one of their best. Finally, one more movie I'd like to talk about from 2008, at least from my perspective, it was from 2008. For most other people, it was a 2007 movie, but it came out here in Chicago in 2008 in January, so I have to consider it from this year because I go by Chicago release dates, and that is, of course, the very best film that I've seen thus far from Paul Thomas Anderson, There Will Be Blood, which was nominated for Best Picture against No Country for Old Men. And I like this movie better than No Country for Old Men, although I don't know if I'd give Best Picture to either of them, but There Will Be Blood's quite an interesting picture. Quite sad, too, actually. I just felt bad for the main character, Daniel Plainview, because he just couldn't connect with anyone. At the end, he's just alone. The whole scene where he's berating his son for starting a competing oil company, and then telling him, "Oh, you're not really my son, you're just a bastard in a basket," and just shouts it over and over again as he leaves, "Just a bastard in a basket." And I'm just like, God, this poor guy, man, he just, he just is pushing everyone away. I feel really bad for him. But, it was the second of three Best Leading Actor Oscars that Daniel Day-Lewis has won, and pretty well deserved because, he's terrific in the movie, as he is in so many others. Then you have Paul Dano, of course, as the preacher, the guy who really wants everyone to attend his church and contribute to his coffers. They're both sort of shown up as hypocrites during the course of the movie. So it's a battle of wills kind of between the two of them. Of course, as dishonest as the preacher kid is, Daniel Plainview as quite ruthless. And if you've ever seen the movie Nightcrawler, you may notice some striking similarities between the Jake Gyllenhaal character in that movie and Daniel Day-Lewis's character in this one. Anyway, There Will Be Blood is a fantastic movie. Great photography, great score, just quite a great experience. 2008 wasn't like one of my favorite movie years overall, but like all other years, it has its share of good and bad movies, and these were some of my favorites from that time. And thank you very much for watching this. That wraps up 2008 for me. I'll be moving on to 2009 very soon. I hope you'll tune in for that. I hope you'll comment and visit my Facebook page and stuff like that, and enjoy my other videos if you choose to. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you again real soon.